Come on to my kitchen. I know this is awful lighting, but I'm pumped because I finally hung this lamp for the kitchen herbs. They all came in from outside, and I'm trying to keep them going through winter. Those are my grow lights that are usually downstairs to start the tomatoes in February. But let's see if we can keep these kitchen herbs going for the winter. Saluti. It's in that pre-holiday. I mean, next week is Christmas, right? So I'm sitting here. I had to turn them down. No violations. Copyright. I got Christmas tunes pumping like crazy, which I only like 2-3 days out of the year. I'm wrapping gifts in the dining room, but 2 weeks ago we did linguine with clams, and I was telling you guys how it was my father's favorite dish. And then I mentioned how he also loved baked clams. This guy loved clams so much. And he actually had a patient who used to drop off bushels of clams from like Mauritius. But my old man loved his quag clams. And linguine with clams, but baked clams was his real. That was the passion. And from the time for as long as I can remember, 2-3 years old, that's the first course on Christmas Eve. So it's coming up Friday. Let's do some baked clams. Let me show you what I do. I purchased the clams last night at one of my favorite fish counters. So how are you going to keep these overnight? You could just they pack them up nice at the fish market in a little, that little clam boat tray, all wrapped in paper and plastic. You can just throw that in the fridge. But what I do is I take them out, put them in a colander, something that can drain, right? I put ice cubes on top. They're all melted now, but I cover them with ice cubes, and then I put a towel. Put it in the fridge. You want to make sure whatever you put them in, they're not going to sit in the water. You just want that ice to drip through, okay? So they've been like that since last night. We're ready to shuck them. We did the shuck on the linguine with clam shell, so I'm not going to put you through that now. I'll take care of that. But let's go over and make some breadcrumbs. And Clams Oreganata. First thing we need is some breadcrumbs. Now, my father was never doing this. He would have the Progresso or the 4C breadcrumbs, seasoned Italian breadcrumbs that my mother had in the pantry. But that doesn't work for me. I made this beautiful loaf of sandwich bread. This is King Arthur's sandwich bread recipe. I made it 2 days ago, I think. So 2 days on the counter, perfect. It's not hard, but it's not fresh. This is how I like my breadcrumbs. So let's put it in here. By the way, I had this loaf. I had a little shrimp salad for lunch, a little tuna salad for lunch. This is the bread, sandwich bread. And I put it in crust and all. Some people take the crust off of breadcrumbs. Not me. I like those little crusty brown flecks in there. Alright, let's give this a whiz. Oh, look at these. Oh, yeah. Soft, just like 2 days stale. I won't even say stale, 2 days old. Oh, man. Well, let's get these in a bowl and season them up. Alright, let's get these breadcrumbs going. Wait till you see this. You'll never buy breadcrumbs again. First of all, here they are. I toasted them. I put them in the toaster oven. I didn't make you guys privy to that because my toaster oven gets beat up, man. I cook a lot in there. Needs a good cleaning, needs a good shakeout. So you didn't need to see that, but I put them in. They're nice and toasty. That home-baked white sandwich bread. Now the beauty of this is I'm going to season just enough for those clams, and then I can put these in a nice airtight jar. And I got breadcrumbs around. Let's see, how many clams? Yeah, I think that's about enough. All right, breadcrumb, salt, right? Black pepper, pepperoncini, crushed red pepper. This is that Sicilian oregano. These are, after all, called Clams Oreganata. So let's go a little heavy on that. But I also have my home blend. This is an Italian seasoning. It's also got some dried oregano, dried basil, dried thyme, marjoram, rosemary, sage, just a pinch of that. We really want that oregano flavor. Olio, some fresh garlic. Chop it up nice and fine. Parsley, this is key, flat Italian parsley. Also, give it a nice fine chop. Okay, I don't need all that. We'll put that in. All right, here's a little quick tip, quick tip. We just put that chopped garlic in, but a little bit of garlic powder, just a touch. Adds just a little something different in the garlicky realm of things. Now, here's a way to finish this off. We got all our seasonings in there. This is going to be controversial. I had a couple of people after the clams with linguine actually text me and private message me. Hold on, I'm making a mess here. But the board is clean. It was wiped down beforehand. So let's get everything back in the bowl. A couple people messaged me after the clams with linguine. How come you didn't grate cheese over that? Don't start with me. That's blasphemy. Cheese on clams? However, in the breadcrumbs, clams or not, it's a mandatory ingredient. A little Parmigiano Reggiano, not too much. And now I'm going to finish off these breadcrumbs like so. We need our liquid now. They already smell incredible. Yeah. Garlic. See? We'll go with a little more oregano. Remember, oreganata. So now, here's the trick. Just a pinch of fresh lemon juice. Okay? I saved from shucking the clam juice. Let's wet it down with a little clam juice. Not many people do this, but I'm going to put a touch of my Vino Bianco. And now here's how we're really going to wet them down. Extra virgin olive oil. Now, that's all I have in my house. My sister, I believe, goes with regular olive oil. Right, Bean? What do you use? The Barrio? The gold can? There's Beatrice hitting into the tripod again. B. So, that might be a little on the wet side. You want it? So let's put a little more breadcrumb in. You want this wet, but not too wet. There you go. Consistency to get on top of our clams. And now let's grab the clams. Told you I did my shucking. Now what do we have here? I bought a dozen clams. And I killed 4. Lemon on the half shell, you got to do it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, which is perfect. If you buy a dozen clams you got a reputable fishmonger, you should come home with 13, right? It's like the baker's dozen. So now we've got our breadcrumbs all seasoned up, nice and wet, but not overly wet. And here's the trick. The trick is the ratio. You want to cover that clam, but you want to taste that clam. All right? Too much bread is not the way to go. Just enough to cover the meat of that clam. All right? Push it down just a touch. Oh man, I am so pumped. And I love these are really truly little necks, top necks. When we did the linguine, they sold them as little necks, same fishmonger. But really they were closer to what I would call cherries, cherry stones. These are actual little necks. But I got nothing against a nice big meaty clam. They're all good to me. Bring on the chowders. Let's make some chowder. We did that already, right? All right. These are going in the oven, aka the toaster oven, which you're not allowed to see right now. And then we'll have a look at them. Usually like 5-10 minutes on a hot temp. You just want to get that breadcrumb sizzling. You do not want to overcook those clams. Look at these things. Those breadcrumbs are still sizzling. What I did is I baked them about 5 minutes at about 350. And then I popped them under the broiler just for about, I don't know, 20-30 seconds. You want to get that top browned off, a little crunchy. And this, one of my favorite memories of my dad, did be 3 dozen of these on a platter on Christmas Eve. It's the first, the first dish. It opens up Christmas. And my dad going over the whole platter with the lemon. Every single one. You don't give anyone an individual lemon slice. You just hit them up for them. And by the way, you'd think I was a depression baby. This tin foil here, I brought that home from my sandwich that I got at work from the deli. I knew it'd come in handy for something. All right, let's check these beauties out. This is one of my favorite things ever. I realize I always say that it's one of my favorite things, but what can I tell you? I make my favorite things. Got these beauty little forks from my gran. Start with this guy. It's the greatest thing ever. I already ate the rest of the breadcrumbs with the olive oil, just raw, while I was waiting for these with a spoon out of the bowl. Unbelievable. Baked Clams Oreganata. Some of my greatest memories. When these came to the table, people came running, man. And you had to get in there and get them. There was no individual, you got yours on it. No, the big platter went on the table. Hook yourself up. The key is to not overcook those beauties. You want that clam juicy. Oh man. Thanks for coming to my kitchen. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I shouldn't say Happy New Year because you'll have a new episode by then. We'll see you for that one, next episode. I can't stop.